It is Tuesday. Fresh out the shower, clean shave, crisp taper, earrings clean because we don't want to smell like earring backs, especially let's just say if you got a lady and she likes kissing on your neck and cheek and all of that good stuff. You don't want her smelling that shit. So make sure you take your earrings out, stick it in the cleaner, or if you got the spray, but either way, clean your earrings, guys. But as I do my reflection walk, you know I gotta bring this one. You ready to go bye-bye? You wanna go bye-bye? As you see, she is ready to go, so stay tuned. And we are off. Getting my baby girl out of that backyard. It's been a week since the last time I took her out. It was this time last week, guys. So I gotta let her get her explore on while I get my reflection walk on. One thing that I must say about this one here, see if I can get her. There she go. Right there. Is this dog exemplifies true loyalty. When I tell you, since a puppy, she has been extremely loyal to me, extremely loyal to my son. She will fight until she dies to protect us, guys. This is why it's very important that you should experience getting a female dog, not a male dog, because male dogs protect their territory that they mark, but female dogs protect the territory and the family. It's a huge difference. Yes, female dogs are smaller than male dogs. I could have got me 100-pound, boxer, her brother actually, but I decided to get her because I know that girl dogs are more loyal. They're easier to train. You don't have to worry about them trying to get out of, the backyard to go get laid, even whenever they're in heat, right? That's the only time that they give you kind of problems because they get hormonal. But for the most part, female dogs are extremely loyal to you. So experience that, guys. I had to give my dog her flowers before I really get into it. Ain't that right, Stinky Booty? She's so beautiful. Big old 10-year-old puppy. But anyways, reflection walk. So this morning, as I'm, letting my son get on the bus, I started thinking about this time last year. And this is why it's very important that you guys start reflecting back on things that happened in the past and compare it to what your present is in the direction of your future. Now, if you follow the channel, this time last year, I was going through it with my AC. My outdoor unit was busted. I was using emergency heat. My utility bills were out of control, and I was stressed the hell out. And now, fast forward to present time, I got a brand new unit working as we speak. The bills are nowhere near as high as it was last year, and that's what we call progress and improvement. And this is why it's very important to think about the things that you've gone through in the past and compare it to your present, guys. Because sometimes you might look at your life and say, damn, I'm stagnant. You know, I'm not seeing a lot of progress. Other people are either, getting promoted at my job and I'm stuck at where I'm at, or, maybe I'm just not seeing any elevation or improvement in my life. Well, all you got to do is compare to the things that transpired in your past and see exactly where you're at. But I don't think a lot of people do that. It's very important that you reflect on when you were down and out, when you were broke, when you was not making the type of money that you're making, or maybe your, living experience wasn't where it's at currently. See, progress is progress no matter how big it is. You might be working at that same job, right? But you might have got a raise. I don't give a damn if it was a 25-cent raise. You're going to be making more money than what you was before you made that raise. And that's how you have to look at things, guys. I understand that we live in a keeping up with the Joneses, very materialistic type of environment now. But you cannot lose sight of the fact that at one time you were doing worse than where you're currently at. And if you're still doing bad, that's a huge problem. That means that you're fucking up. Come on. Look at her. She over here. There she goes. She sees some people she don't know and she was trying to investigate. But anyways, if you are still stuck in that same, you know, situation, if you're still broke and you've been broke for a long time, or maybe you still living at home with your parents because you made bad decisions and you can't afford to get out there on your own, then those are the adjustments that you should be looking at to change, because nobody wants to be stuck in a same situation for a long period of time. It's all about growth, guys, progression. We all should be improving financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, every single year. And if you find yourself being stagnant, then that's the first thing of change, is identifying that you are stagnant. And now we got to look at, okay, what can we do to improve? What type of habits do we need to change in order for us to progress and to grow? That is the nature of the beast. That is the name of the game, and that's what we got to do. So think about that, guys. You have to reflect in order for you to grow and progress and to see where you're at currently and direction that you're going. Tuesday content starts right now. Good day, good people. It's AT Malone, the first of my name because the second is already here. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more videos from your boy. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed my reflection walk slash dog walk with my baby girl, Athena. And I'm also hoping that you got the inspiration that you need just in case you feel like you're in a rut or things are moving slow in your life. You always got to make sure that you go back and reflect on your wins, the W's that you have experienced, and the elevation that has transpired from 2025 over into 2026. And sometimes you might have to lean on to people who are in your social circle or your family in order to help inspire you to do better. Maybe you might need to talk to them and have a reality check, conversation with them, and they might have to tell you about yourself or what you're doing wrong or things that you can improve within your life in order to take your life to the next level. That's what people are there for, who truly care about you. They want you to win. They want you to succeed. In my case, I want all of my people who I surround myself with to do better than me. Absolutely, I do. And I know that's very hard to grasp because we're selfish creatures by nature. But with me, I already know that I'm going to get what's mine, what's coming to me. So I'm not concerned about how long it's going to take. As long as I continue to see improvements, then that's the only thing that truly matters. I'm going to be wealthy. I'm going to be successful. I know that one day that I will get my freedom back. I will pay to get my freedom back. I won't have to rely on a company to pay my bills. But in order for that to happen, I have to keep working. I have to keep grinding. I have to keep hustling. I have to remain disciplined. I need to be competitive in life. And that's the thing that's going to take my life to the next level, and it'll take your life to the next level as well. So continue to find things that are going to inspire you in order to get better, in order to do better, in order to be better, guys. That's my mom calling me once again. I don't know why she chooses to call me at the worst times, but she does this on a consistent basis. But we do this live. I'm not going to edit this out, okay? So, guys, just remain inspired and just reflect on the things that have happened in your life, whether it's good or bad, and also focus on the good things. Okay, be positive, don't be negative. All right, well, those were my freestyle thoughts of the week. But you know why we are here, right? We are here to break down the richest man who ever lived, King Solomon's secrets to success, wealth, and happiness. And we are still on chapter 9, titled Winning and Resolving Every Conflict. Now, last week, we talked about conflict and adversity are an unavoidable part of life. Who wins and who loses in adversity and conflict or adversity that is beyond our control. So this week we are going to talk about conflict makes a dull blade sharp. In Proverbs 27:17, Solomon says, iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Now, I didn't even know that this is where this quote came from. And it's good to know that you can just find certain things that we use on a consistent basis within the Bible. They've been saying this stuff, for thousands of years. And I think that's pretty cool. Now, we know a knife needs to rub against something like a whetstone in order to sharpen it. Solomon tells us that our character is sharpened in the same way through our close and even friction-filled interactions with others. Arguments can result in discoveries of courses of actions to take in business. And Gary Smalley teaches us that conflict is the gateway to the deepest levels of communication and intimacy in marriage or relationships. Now, honestly, man, I think that he was referring to women when it comes to this whole, relationship marriage thing, because men don't really want to fight with their women like that. Okay, we are okay with being consistent, being regular. See, women want that emotional roller coaster. They want that tug of war of love. They get bored easily in relationships. Men don't. We just want consistency more than anything. We ain't trying to fight. We're not trying to argue with our women. But sometimes we have to provide that just to reset, create that fire, that kiss and make up scenario in order to not dull out the relationship, guys. So sometimes you'll find yourself, maybe your lady is starting some shit with you just because she wants to feel that spark. She wants to get a rise out of you. Sometimes it's a form of foreplay, to be honest with you guys. And you got to play along with it sometimes. And whatever makes your relationship work, whatever keeps that spark, that fire going, you're just going to have to do it whether you like it or not, okay? Now, people who run away from conflict and avoid confrontation can unintentionally do more harm in relationships than good. Marriages without conflict and confrontation will never achieve a deep level of intimacy. Conflict should be seen as a necessary tool for optimal achievement in any walk of life. Now, this is also a good thing when, let's just say you're on a sports team, right? It's a good thing that y'all have conflict within that and y'all fight within the team. Why? Because it's going to build you guys up and make you closer. I know we've all played sports. Well, a lot of us played sports, and we've fought with our teammates. And then, 5 minutes later, after we got done scuffling, we were back to being friends. I remember one time, guys, when I was on my, 7th grade basketball team, I got into it with one of my teammates. And we got into a scuffle, and I punched this dude so hard that I cut his, under his eye, and he had to go to the hospital and get stitches, right? Well, the next day, we were cool, like nothing happened. Why? Because one, we're guys, we're young, 12, 13 years old. We start to be full of testosterone. We start doing stupid stuff. And he was in the wrong, and I probably shouldn't have reacted in the way that I did, and all was well after that. But it was necessary, and we were cool even after that. And also, it's a lesson. Every action has a reaction. it taught me, listen, you got to defend yourself no matter who it is. And it taught him, hey, maybe I need to watch my mouth and watch who I put my hands on, because these are the consequences for me throwing the first punch. Because when you throw the first punch, you might get 2 or 3 back at you, and that effect is going to be worse than that first punch that you threw. So this is very, very necessary in men for us to have conflict, especially if we're on a team, because also it makes you more protective over your teammates, because you ain't gonna let another team put their hands on your teammate. You know what I'm saying? So that is a good experience to have, guys. Now we're gonna move on to redefining our concept of winning. Our notions of winning an argument are often simply to get the other person to agree with us and get them to do what we want. But to truly win in any situation is to achieve the best possible outcome. That's what both parties really want, but their biases cloud their judgment. They fail to see the whole picture, and they desire to prevail. They argue without a full grasp of all the facts or strictly from their own self-centered point of view. Now, have you guys ever argued with a liberal person before, coming from a conservative point of view? This is a prime example of that, because when you have these discussions or these debates or these arguments with liberal people, they get so into their emotions and they will throw away all of the facts. So you could just say, listen, it's not okay for other people from different countries to cross over into U.S. territories or the United States, whatever you want to call it, illegally. They will try anything to justify the means. And it's very difficult for them to grasp the concept of what's right and what's wrong, because they are so emotionally filled, especially if they got Trump derangement syndrome, because we know anything Trump does is 1000% wrong, whether it's good or bad, right? And I find it funny and I laugh at these people because they're speaking from emotions, not logic. They're not very logical people at all, because if they were logical people, they wouldn't be sitting over here trying to impede on ICE investigations. They would not be protesting for other countries that have nothing to do with the United States of America. They waste their times on things that's not important, when they should be focusing on building themselves up, taking care of their family, taking care of their significant others. But they're so fixated and focused on things that really don't matter, that don't move the needle in their own personal life, that it completely clouds their judgment. Why do you think Trump says that this is the party of common sense? It's because the other party, the Democrat, liberal people, they don't operate off of common sense. They operate off of emotions. They are trying to placate and, make everybody seem like they're victims when they're not. Remember, guys, a lot of our issues come from us, our own actions, our upbringing. And once you become an adult, those things go out the window. You are accountable for your own actions. I don't give a damn if you came from the hood, the ghetto, poverty, because this is America. You can dig yourself out of that if you make the right decisions. You don't victimize yourself, and you set a standard for yourself, okay? Now, using Solomon's communication strategies from chapter 5 on handling conflict can help us gain a better perspective for any argument, and better help all parties involved to see more clearly and pursue the best possible outcomes. Winning becomes a way of achieving what's best for all, rather than getting my way or persuading somebody to do what I want them to do. Now, this is the true example of leadership, because a good leader, a solid leader, they look into the best interest of the entire group, okay? Not their own self-interest. So maybe, somebody will come up to you and they'll air out their grievances, but it's just for them. And it might affect the whole group. Well, you're gonna take what they say into consideration, but if it's not gonna help the entire group, then that information doesn't even matter, because you're looking at the entirety. This is what even being the head of a household is with myself. I'm looking at doing things that's going to benefit everybody here, right? My lady, my son, my dog. So sometimes I gotta say, listen, this is what it is. You might be upset with it. I don't care. But in order for us to continue to run this ecosystem, this is how it's going to be, and fuck your feelings, right? And you have to be man enough to actually do that, whether it's in your household or in the office or warehouse or wherever you work at. It's okay to get pushback because that comes along with being a leader, but you have to look at the big picture and making sure that everybody benefits off of your decision making. All right. Now we're going to talk about conflict can be beneficial or detrimental depending on how we engage in it. Whenever we engage in an argument, our natural inclination is to defend ourselves or our point of view and to attack or counterattack the other person and their point of view. We say whatever comes to mind, we shoot from the hip, inflicting more wounds than are necessary or beneficial. And we receive more wounds in return. This can temporarily or permanently damage our relationship. Solomon calls this foolishness. And as soon as we realize what is happening, we should focus on our words and change our focus, which is achieving the best possible outcome for both parties instead of defending or attacking. Now, this is not easy to do, guys. Sometimes it's going to take you years to develop this because you got to develop stoicism. You got to be mature. And like I said before, you got to look at the big picture. And men have to stop being so damn emotional and really tap into being logical. Let's just say you're arguing with your lady, which you shouldn't even be doing in the first place, right? Well, you are the leader in your relationship. She can yell, but she shouldn't be doing that if she respects you. She shouldn't be cussing you out, but she should be coming at you in a adult, mature manner. And your job is to hear her out and see exactly what the issue is. And after you hear her out, you make that decision. The same way that you do as a parent, right? If there's something going on with your child, you hear them out first, and then you come up with that solution in order to prevent, the same mistakes from happening, or if they're running into a brick wall somewhere, or they just continue to make mistakes and they don't understand why the mistake is being made. So this is why there's the burden of performance on us, because we are built to do these things. We are built to take on the world. We are built to deal with other people's problems, and we are built to come up with the solutions as well. So guys, stop being so damn emotional, because that is an epidemic right now in men. I don't know if it's the food, if it's guys that are being raised in single mother households. I don't know if just they don't have the ambition that men before us had, but we got to stop doing that because it prevents us from being the leaders that we are supposed to be on this planet, okay? So that's all I got for Tuesday, y'all. That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. And I think we're going to be on chapter 9 for about 2 more weeks. This is a long ass chapter, and the breakdowns I have to do because conflict, man, we're going to have to deal with conflict on a regular basis, and it's teaching us how to deal with those things, okay? You can't use, physical force with every single thing. Sometimes, most times, you got to look at, from this perspective here and use this brain of yours, all right? And also, I got to plug in my Revita, guys. Make sure you get your Revita. It's 2026. If you got those thin spots, I know I got some and I'm still working on them, but they're filling up as we speak. Get your Revita. It's a great product. I highly recommend it. Go click my link that I'm going to leave below and get your Revita. You will not be disappointed. All right. Well, it's time to edit, clip this up so I can drop it at 7 p.m. tonight. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate everybody watching. Peace.
Feel like they trying to box me in, so I keep a small circle around me, so fuck friends, I kept it real out the gate, these other cats in. Reigning supreme is something that will never end. Never end.